So Big Brother Naija Season 10 Reunion is going to start on the 8th on Monday, 2026. Wow, guys, I can't wait for this. And all 29 housemates are expected to return to address the resolved issues from the season. Number one thing viewers are expecting from this reunion is faith versus sultana drama. Yeah. One of the biggest issues likely to dominate the reunion is the altercation between Faith and Dewali and Sultana, which led to Faith's disqualification shortly before the final. Fans expect both housemates to explain what really happened. Well, we are going to see that day, guys. We are going to see it. And number two things I know that viewers are also expecting is relationship and ship controversies. Season 10 had several romantic situations and fan favorite ships that sparked debates online. The reunion is expected to review which relationship survived after the show. Well, if you have been following them on the social media, you will see that there are people that their relationship survived after the show, which I'm not going to say anything now. Whether some housemates were genuinely interested in each other, any hidden conflicts between popular ships, those are the things that viewers is going to. I know that those are the things that viewers are going to expect from this reunion. It's not going to be easy, guys. And I know number three things that viewers also expect is Toma versus Big Susu. Yeah, promotional clips and fan discussions suggest there may be tension between Toma Lucy and Sonia. Many fans are waiting to see whether all disagreements will be addressed. You have until midnight today to specifically list all the things I should apologize for. Guys, those were the words from Thelma on Twitter. Suso has decided not to forgive anyone. Number 14 that viewers are expecting also is relationship that ended after the show. Several housemates would appear close inside the house, reportedly drifted apart after the season ended. The reunion usually exposes what happened between the scenes and who is still friends. Guys, I can't also wait for the reunion to start. And another number 5 things that viewers are expecting is winner's journey. Missy journey. Yeah, the reunion will also revisit the victory of Missy, who won this season with 42.84% of the vote and took home the 150 million grand prize package. Fans will get updates on her life after the show and her relationships with fellow housemates. Yes. If you have been following Missy on social media like on Instagram, you will see that she has been doing well. So season 10 wrapped up and it was a whole vibe with Imisi winning the show. And since the show ended, the cryptic posts, the unfollows, and the very deliberate silences from certain pairs have been telling their own story. The reunion is loading based on the pattern of previous seasons. June is when this thing airs, and not one person in that cast is going home without being asked something uncomfortable. Now let's start with Kola and Dede, because this was the defining storyline of a large part of this season, and post-show, nothing about their dynamic has been projected publicly. Dede and Koyin seems fine, but Dede and Kola are going to walk into the reunion and push the Dede conversation. No, I don't think so, because the whole situation made him look like a simp in front of the whole country. I mean, he was all in, like everybody could see him begging for this girl's attention, you know. Meanwhile, Dede was not, and everybody was watching. So the optics he wants to project is, I have moved on, you know. He wants to kind of put up a frame that he has moved on from this whole begging Dede scene and all that. That chapter is closed, and he will hold that line as long as he can. Dede will do the same. I mean, she's going to be cordial, gracious, nothing to talk about, you know. But Ebuka is not going to leave that table still. The angles he will push, guys, I think Mide is going to want to use this reunion to actually tell her own side of how things broke down with Dede. She never fully got to address it publicly, and this is her platform to do that. And then Bright Morgan was actively encouraging Mide, telling her not to be a sub for Dede, feeding into that whole dynamic. So if Mide opens that door at the reunion, Dede is going to turn to Bright Morgan directly and ask him clearly, what exactly was your problem with me, guy? Like, we're going to see that. I think we should. Because Dede does not let things like that go without a response. And the whole dislike Bright had for her was not hidden. Sultana has her own people to face at this reunion, and the list is long. First up, Gigi Jasmine. What Gigi communicated with Sultana privately and what she came out of the house to see were clearly two different things around the whole situationship with Victory. Remember, guys, that gap between private conversations and public behavior is exactly the kind of thing that festers, and Gigi is going to want that addressed. For Doris, the Isabella Mount Odor rumor. Doris has been very clear that she did not start it. So Jason J. Now this one is spicy because Sultana is likely to bring up the hypocrisy angle. I mean, you told us you have a relationship outside the house, right? But you are still seeking intimate connections inside with Dede and with Sultana. These were happening under the veil with Sultana, and that contradiction needs to be addressed. And I'm very sure Sultana is going to call him out on that. And then Rude Boy also has the hypocrisy card ready to deal it to Thelma. I mean, Thelma presented herself as someone who wanted to just be in the house with vibes, no entanglement and all that. But Rude Boy wanted more than friendship from her. And then she was moving towards Kainkumi, disrupting the whole thing Kainkumi had with Isabella, sharing bed space with Capable. Rude Boy is not the type to keep the observation to himself. Like, he called her out in the house and that led to their fracas. But then again, I feel this will be revisited in the reunion, and probably Ruben might have to say some things he has to say to her face. And then Imisi, who has maintained all season that Thelma was condescending and bullying. Thelma will most likely fight back because Imisi had that Bright Morgan allegation pinned on Thelma. Imisi spread that Thelma was attracted to Bright Morgan and that Thelma and Bright were seen in a questionable position outside. Those two are going to have a full exchange. Like, I really think there's going to be an exchange there. Now, culture and faith. And this one is actually a surprise twist in this whole reunion story because anyone who watched this season remembers that confrontation in the house. But here's the thing, Pushu, culture has recently showed up in faith comment section. Surprising, right? Positively for that matter, commending his outfit at the MVCA, which tells you that whatever happened between these two has quietly been worked through outside of public view. Or maybe they're just cordial. So that particular beef may actually not be the explosion people are expecting, and sometimes the ones you think are going to fight are the ones who show up at the reunion laughing together. So Cortan and Ivata and I were close in that house. Ivata switched up, things got rough, and it resulted in one of the most chaotic live evictions this season. But sure, Ivata has been moving very quietly, like you rarely see her out there. She did not attend the MVCS, which just concluded recently, and with that kind of energy, I genuinely don't know if she's going to walk into that reunion with a fire to revisit all of this. I think if she shows up for herself and her own peace, you know, not to go 10 rounds with Manson again. I mean, that would be fun to watch, but then I don't think so. So, but if she does decide to address it, that is going to be one of the most serious conversations of the entire reunion. And lastly, Faith, yeah, who I think walk into that reunion completely unapologetic about who he is as a person. But I do think he'll offer something around the Sultana disqualification situation. Not a full apology, more of a character-based acknowledgement that things went too far that day, just enough to close the chapter without surrendering the narrative. But Faith and Imisi, guys, that is not closing at this reunion. I really don't think this will close at the reunion because these two have not been able to tolerate each other even outside the house, and that tension has followed them post-show. That's your BBNaija Season 10 Reunion forecast breakdown. Yes, subscribe and turn notifications on.